Put up the first slide.
We'll just go.
I'm just going to count like backwards from 10 and assume you're seeing it.
You know what I should have done?
Oh, it's up. Look at
it. Put an earphone in my ear. I can listen to
Look
it.
at right there. So look at the green indicates go, do that. The red indicates don't do this. Thus today's theme, the 3 things you must do and the 3 things you must stop doing. So number 1 is you must accept impermanence and you must stop talking shit to yourself.
Well, hell, it's the yes on both.
This is a relevant thing right now because I saw some commentary on the Crew Nation Clubhouse over the weekend that we're going to talk about in the after party. It's not bad. No one's in trouble. And Chaser, if you haven't taken the slide down yet, you can. Let's talk about accepting impermanence first of all, okay? Here's the one place my brain went this morning. Last week, we were very, very candid. You were very, very candid on multiple episodes that we had you had a challenging week emotionally.
Yes.
It's because Mercury was in retrograde and because of the lunar eclipse pending and hormones
and fatigue
and ions
and everything else
and macros and all of the things. But here's the thing. You know, I paid close attention. I paid close attention to every episode last week, and there's something I noticed. You kept talking about the concept of impermanence without saying impermanence. Okay, no, but you kept saying that to Crew Nation. You kept saying, look, this is going to turn around.
Right.
What goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. Yep. You kept saying things like that, and that's what is called accepting impermanence. You cannot look at your life the way it is right now and accept or assume it's going to be like that forever.
Completely.
And that is a major goal achievement marker. Because what happens is we get lost in the muck. If achieving goals was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
The classic reality is we make it easier for you by giving you tools. But you still have to do the work. But doing the work doesn't only imply the guts and the glory of like doing the day-to-day hard in the trenches, gotta go. It also means the stuff you put up here or don't put up there. Accepting impermanence is one of the things you have to put up there. Yep. You have to appreciate that losing weight isn't linear. It goes in a plateau and a cycle. Gaining wealth is not linear. Up and down, up and down. Building a successful business is not linear. You have great weeks and challenging weeks. Up and down, up and down. Impermanence allows us to accept and even attach to the reality that when we're in the shit, we're not going to be there forever. But you've got to accept it, not just give it lip service. Okay, I'll let you go. I have more after that.
Well, I mean...
Because you took notes.
I couldn't agree more
yes.
with regards to this one. It's so funny and that you talked about this, like that specific thing this morning, because I can't remember if it was the Clubhouse or BCAP. I want to say I think it was BCAP that I posted about this just this morning. Yeah. Ironically. And I was talking... Even
in the midst of challenging celestial realities, we are in sync.
We are in sync. What a surprise. But I actually posted on this exact same thing because I think that my whole thing surrounding it was, you know, be gentle with yourself because that's the quickest way for you to find like the change, right? But, you know, this for me in the past used to be such a struggle because I would feel those moments so deeply and I would be afraid. And I think that's what a lot of people experience is that they start to get afraid that it's going to be this way forever.
Yes.
So we start to make the assumption it's going to be this way forever. And I actually have quite a few clients right now who are going through this exact thing. And that's what I keep reminding them of that. Like, you know, this is a moment in time and it's going to pass. We have to be gentle. We have to be patient. You have to do the work to get there, right? I remember for myself years ago, you know, and this is where you were going to say you can't just use it as lip service, right? And the first thing I thought of was how many people use the language, this too shall pass, right? Great language.
It is great.
This too shall pass.
If you internalize it.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
It's all that great rhetoric.
Yes.
Rhetoric.
That was the little Bugs Bunny there. Rhetoric.
That so few people live by. And for me, what I started to adopt years ago, because I started to use the positive proof of it all, was that like, okay, you know what? Oh, it was really shitty 6 weeks ago, but it passed. It was really shitty 6 days ago, but it passed.
Yes.
So I started to use the language for myself that, you know what, I know this is difficult right now, but I'm going to grow from this.
Exactly.
And that for me was like, yes, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to get out of it.
Two things on that. This is why I'm such a harsh critic of the quote users. I don't have a personal problem with you. I don't have a personal problem with the quotes. If you live by them, you've internalized them and they have become a precept, a moral breathing ethos for you, then use the quote as much as you want. Stop using the quote if you don't live by the quote. And you just gave an accurate portrayal of that. Now, I also have a test, a question for Crew Nation. Carrie just said something perfect. Here's what it was. When I'm in the shit, sometimes I think back to the fact that I was in the shit 6 months ago, and back then I realized, or I thought that I was never going to get out of the shit, but here I am 6 months later, I'm back in the shit, but I'm out of that shit. And that, helps me find perspective. What's that called?
Ooh.
We taught it just last week. Who wants to answer? What's that called?
I was just using this with a client yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
And you know what I did, as you guys are chiming in? I actually went back in a message thread with a client and actually found an exact example of it so that I could prove it.
Yes, anybody know? By the way, I'm coming back to John Delancey's comment in a second. It's a great comment. Anybody?
There we go. Clubhouse Mama for the win.
Clubhouse Mama knows mind of the gap. That's what you do when you're in the shit. You remember last time you were in the shit and the fact that you're not in that shit anymore.
Yep.
And it helps you reshift perspective. You know what another massive tool, and you're about to start seeing a theme in today's episode. You know what another massive tool is regarding accepting impermanence and stop talking shit to yourself? Learn your language. One of our 4 pillars. Learn your language, review your direction, count your wins, imagine your outcome. Insofar as accepting impermanence and stopping talking shit to yourself, learn your language every single day. Stop complaining. Stop telling yourself, your wife, your husband, your kids, the grocery guy, the checkout girl, the bank manager. Stop telling everybody in the clubhouse. Stop telling everybody how difficult it is and how much you wish it was different and how challenging the situation is. Yes, we understand. That leads to John Delancey's great comment. Just heard Sam Harris, someone who I love a great deal, talk about this. Refer to Buddhist idea of life as misery. It doesn't actually mean that everything sucks, but chasing permanent happiness is a recipe for disaster because it can't happen. Exactly. So true. When Buddha said life is misery, he was not saying life is a big bag of shit. He's saying that suffering is everywhere if we attach to it.
Right.
We get old. We get ill. Loved ones pass away and we die. These are all tragic events that could become suffering if we embrace them and attach to them. If we recognize that everything is impermanent. I am going to die. My kids are going to die. My dog's going to die. My wife's going to die. If I can accept that and be with it on a more regular basis, I know that life is fluid, which means if I'm in this shit right now, I'm not going to stay there unless I continue talking shit to myself.
I love it.
Learn your language. If you are chronically complaining, chronically asking, how is this going to work for me? When is this going to get better? You're creating suffering.
Absolutely.
And that is a surefire way to absolutely never, ever, ever achieve your goals.
Completely.
Ever.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. Okay, I want to address something with regards to this because again, I've mentioned last week that a lot of my private clients were going through some stuff, and it's a perfect time to use this example. So, last week I had a client who was going through a very challenging time, was very much stuck in bound nature, and started journaling because they had stopped journaling. Remember I talked about that last week? They started journaling again.
Yeah.
So, by day 3, we reviewed journaling. And you want to know what part of the journaling was incredibly heavy and done with efficiency? The learning the language, which is beautiful, right? We want to learn the language, but learning the language was this long. And do you want to know what was absent from it? Counting wins and direction review.
Right.
And so I made the point to this person. I was like, you know what? Yes, we have to learn our language, but there's a difference between learning your language and perseverating around that language day in and day out, hour after hour after hour, right?
Yes.
The counting wins and direction review are there to be created as like a stopgap.
Buffers.
Right?
They
exactly,
buffer.
Right?
Yeah.
So you learn your language, you don't stay mired in it, and then you do your counting your wins and direction review. But that brings me back to a point that I wanted to talk about. We talked about this last week, the comfort of the dark space.
Yes.
Right? How when we are in that dark place, there is an odd comfort there that we want to stay there, but we don't want to be there at the same time. And I was telling Brian about this on Friday, that even myself, I noticed on Thursday, there was this, like, I was out of it Thursday, right? But that there was this, like, tiny nuance of desire to be back in the slums of Monday because of what I received from Brian.
Yeah.
He was so, like he was just coddling me and taking care of me. He loves me every day. But, like, my something in my bound nature wanted that again because it was comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to dismiss the comfort and do the work to get yourself out of there.
Let me talk about someone who gave a great comment here. I'm going to talk about it on 2 levels. Michael Hedke, love that guy. So true. Sometimes shit happens, but you just have to keep going. Okay? Now let's talk about that, because that is societal rhetoric. That is fortune cookie wisdom. That is a quote on Facebook. Sometimes shit happens. You got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going. You know why I don't like? Now look, if you're on the journey, you're on the path, bless you for accepting that quote and living by it. But as you advance, do you know why I don't like that quote? It's a delusion. Sometimes shit happens, you got to get up and just keep going. It sounds defeated. No, it sounds defeatist. It sounds like, oh, you just got to fucking keep going. How about when shit happens, you find the win?
Yeah.
When shit happens, you find the perspective. When shit happens, you find the silver lining. And do you know how you do that? You accept impermanence.
Yeah.
That nothing is going to last forever. That even the most tragic event comes veiled with positivity and learning experience. Find it.
Yep.
Don't just keep going.
Right.
Find the win. Find the benefit. Find the educational or learning opportunity. And then keep going.
Yep.
That's why I don't like I don't like the testosterone shit. You got to get up and dust yourself off and fucking be a man and keep going. Okay, but no. It is a defeatist attitude to carry.
And you end up oftentimes finding yourself even more in the shit.
Yeah, of course you do. You set yourself up for a fail.
I was the queen of the Superwoman cape, who would just put my cape on and keep going until I, literally had to stop because I couldn't think straight anymore.
100% true. Classic examples. When we were broke, selling Carrie's car to pay the mortgage broke.
Getting a job, part-time job.
But yeah, wondering exactly how we're going to pay for food that month. Broke. I was the biggest problem in our relationship back then because I was the woe is me. I was the fuck, is this ever going to change? How are we ever going to make money? We owe $40,000 in credit card debt. We don't even have enough money to pay our mortgage this month. We got to sell your car to do that. This is like a no-win situation. Like, how? Okay, we got to make money. We got to make money. How are we going to make money? How are we going to make money? Carrie, we got to make money. Come on, Carrie, we got to make money. How are we going to make money? No solutions ever come.
Right.
No solutions ever come to you like that.
Absolutely.
Because you're mired in the shit and you're talking shit about the shit. So now you're keeping yourself stuck.
Completely.
How to achieve the goals? Accept impermanence and stop talking shit. Which means understand it's going to flow. If you're in the shit, you won't be there forever unless you keep yourself there with your words.
Yep. Beautiful.
Or your thoughts.